This week's astrology is getting your life together season. Hi, my name is Comet, and welcome to Just Their Magic Monday, particularly your Magic Monday astrological weather report for the week of September 11th to September 17th, 2023, where we are discussing, just as we do every single week here in my cosmic corner, what is occurring within the cosmos above us and how we will feel these themes and influences on Earth. And speaking of Earth, we have a new moon this week that creates a grand Earth trine. So you may know grand trines within the cosmos essentially indicate three planets that are making harmonious aspects to one another and thus can give us down here on planet Earth lots of blessings or a feeling of ease. And the blessings that a grand trine can bestow particularly depend on the element that is being linked. And this week it's in the earth element. And earth is about our physical, tangible, sensual experience of life. So the blessings that are being given to us are not of this flash in the pan variety, not of this burst of motivation, I'm going to get my life together, and then that motivation fades. There is a genuine opportunity this week and this new moon to plant the seeds of new habits, of new ways of being within your physical reality that actually stick. Actually being able to commit to a new habit, actually being able to commit to getting rid of a bad habit, actually commit to a new lifestyle, actually commit to a new reinvention. Like this new moon to me, it's giving reinvention energy because this week we also have Mercury stationing direct. Now Mercury is of the utmost importance currently as it is the planet that the new moon is answering to, and of course the sun in Virgo is answering to. And Mercury stations direct the day after the new moon. So it's almost like with Mercury retrograde in Virgo, we've just been observing everything that's wrong, everything that we need to fix, everything that we need to change. And this new moon is about planting the seeds to take all that data that Mercury retrograde has been bringing up and genuinely plant the seeds around, okay, no more. I've got to fix this. I've got to change this. I've got to improve this. This is the start of the new me. And when I say new you, it's not me saying that there's anything wrong with the person that you were prior, but the energy of Virgo reminds us all to up-level our standards around what it is that we expect from ourselves. Yes, with the energy of Virgo, we can be very neurotic, very in our head, very critical of ourselves and very critical of our lives. But Mercury retrograde is asking you to view it as data rather than looking at these habits and be like, oh, I'm a piece of crap. Why is this how I spend my day to day? This is a new moon to take that data around. This is not serving me any longer and plant the seeds around a new habit that genuinely up levels your life. It's so important to have a growth-oriented mind state as it relates to working with this new moon and overall this week. Because let's be real, life is annoying, and Mercury retrograde in Virgo has made that abundantly clear to us that life can be annoying. Things break, things are messy, aspects of ourselves don't feel quite right. And we can either use that data to go on a kind of shame and guilt spiral, which, let's be real, the energetic of Virgo can absolutely embody, or we can use it simply through this lens of growth around, okay, I've observed this and observed this and observed this. I'm taking this data and I'm going to use it to up-level myself. And like I said about earth element, it's very physical. So like the blessings are showing up in a very tangible way via improved finances, improved health, improved aesthetics, improved self-care of our physical vessel. These are all potential blessings that you can plant with this new moon. Particularly if you used to have a skincare routine, then you kind of fell off the wagon with it, or you used to work out, you miss how good you felt. This new moon is really optimal to getting back to those old habits, old routines, as the ruler of this lunation is retrograde. But when it relates to this week's astrology and when it relates to this grand earth trine that is essentially linking the Virgo sun, Uranus and Taurus, Pluto and Capricorn, do you see what I mean when I'm saying that this week's astrology is giving reinvention era, rebrand era? Because Uranus is all about shaking things up, novelty, authenticity, rebellion. Pluto is all about rebirth, growth, reinvention, power. Sun is all about ego, self-expression, and this is a harmonious flow of energy. So it's not so disruptive. It's more so the acknowledgement around there's aspects of myself that I know are within me. I know that my current habits don't reflect the higher potential of the power that I could embody. I know that my identity or my aesthetic is not reflecting the authenticity that I so want to exude. And it's giving this opportunity to shine that out, or at least with the new moon, plant the seeds around how it is that you want to shine that out. The most authentic, the most powerful iteration of who it is that you are and the potential of all that you could be if you showed up for yourself genuinely within your physical reality. This week's astrology is giving that energy when it's the first day of school. And you know, when you're like in middle school, it's like a big deal. And you really think of it as like this big rebrand. You're like, I've got this limited to fit, I've got my cat binder, and this is a new me. This is 7th grade Haley. They are not even going to recognize me from last year. I grew out those awful bangs. It's a new school year. It's a new me, right? Like that's the energy when it relates to this week's astrology. And now most of us are not heading back to school in a limited to fit and with a cat binder, but that's the mentality around your rebrand, around your reinvention, stepping into this up-leveled version of yourself. Again, still you, but the version of you that knows your worth, and your actions, your routines, and your habits reflect your worth. And now there are parts to this new moon where perhaps we're having a little bit of rose-colored glasses as it relates to this new start. Like, let's be real, when it comes to the first day of 7th grade, when you're in your limited to fit and your crush looks at you and you got your cat binder and you're like, this is the start of a new year. Eventually that shimmer wears off. But what I'm saying here is that with this ground earth trine, it's like maybe the shimmer wears off, but the habits remain. The habits stick around being dedicated to this up-leveled version of yourself. And while we're planting the seeds of our desires, we're also planting the seeds of the discipline to stick with the habits that will make them a reality. So we will be taking a deep dive into this energy thematically as well as day by day so that you can understand how you can best work with this grand earth trine, abundant, fertile soil for you to plant the seeds of your desires. But before we do all that gardening, planting the seeds of our desires into the soil, we're gonna need something to drink. And so welcome to Haley's Cosmic Cafe, a segment on Magic Monday where we chit chat about what it is that we're sipping on as we start the week. So let me know below, how are you starting the week? How are you seizing this new moon in Virgo energy? So I am drinking a caramel sea salt almond milk latte in this mysterious mermaid cup. And the reason it's mysterious, so my best friend gave me this mermaid cup. I love mermaids. I do feel like I am a mermaid. I was on a girls trip and we were all like debating, like serious, like hour-and-a-half debate around what we would be, like what mystical creature, like a fairy, a unicorn. One of us identified as a gnome, which I loved, a mermaid, an elf. So I want to know below, which mystical creature do you relate with the most? Because I've always felt like I'm a mermaid. So people always give me mermaid stuff. But anyways, my best friend got me this mermaid cup. And one day I was out and about with it and I ran into someone and we were carrying the same cup, only hers didn't have gems on it. And she was like, oh, I love how you put the gems on it. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't. It was given to me like this. And I was like so touched because I thought my best friend did all this for me. So I said to my best friend, I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for putting the gems on my mermaid cup that you gave me. And she was like, I didn't put the gems on. And I was like, what do you mean it has gems on it? And she's like, I didn't put gems on. You know I'm not crafty. And she's convinced she gave it to me without gems on. So now I'm just baffled. I'm like, is there a mysterious crafter who broke into my house and put gems on this mermaid? Because I know I most certainly didn't. How did this mermaid get gems? It's baffling. Or if anybody knows, did Starbucks sell this with gems on and she's just misremembering giving this to me without gems? These are the questions. These are the questions. But anyways, let's go ahead and take it into Vibe Check of the Week to get you more acquainted with the energetics that we are navigating in this week's astrology. So welcome to Vibe Check of the Week, where we compare all of this week's astrology transits from Sun trine Uranus, Mercury stationing direct, Venus square Jupiter, New Moon in Virgo. We take all of those transits and compare it to a real life scenario so that even if you forget the intricacies of what all of these terms mean, you can tune into an overall vibe and then understand how it may show up for you within your universe. So this week's vibe check of the week feels like that decision when you decide to get fit. You're like, enough is enough. Because again, with Mercury retrograde in Virgo, a lot of us have been really looking inward and maybe being a little critical of ourselves and of the way that we live our world and the problems and the issues all around us. And some of us are getting kind of sick of the way that we've been living. We're really in the mood for a rebrand. We're really in the mood for a reinvention. And like I said with the grand Earth trine, is that there's a lot of fertile blessings as it relates to our physical reality, our bodies, our finances, our work, our aesthetic. That's where a lot of the blessings can come through. So let's say you spent the entire Mercury retrograde in Virgo just really beating yourself up over the way that you've been eating and just not moving your body much, and you don't feel good. Your mood doesn't feel good, your skin doesn't feel good, your gut health doesn't feel good, you're just feeling off, not feeling like the best version of yourself, and you're ready for something different. And sometimes we have to get to that space around being just utterly sick of ourselves for us to really plant the seeds around carving new, genuine change. And that kind of feels like part of this week's astrology with the new moon in Virgo and then Mercury stationing direct the next day, like having clearance to really move forward in our line of thinking and really with the blessings that we're planting around a new way of being, a new way of operating in regards to our habits. So let's say you're staying up late and you're eating Hot Pockets and you're like, this is just not right. I'm not feeling my best. It's time. It's time to do something different. So you decide to go online, you buy a new workout set. Let's be real, with the Venus squaring Jupiter, we could be feeling a little spendy, particularly as we move to the weekend, okay? Sometimes can be a motivator though to work out when you have a cute new workout set to wear. But you go online, you buy the new workout set, you make a Pinterest board of new workouts that you are going to do. You start researching recipes and make a list of the food that you're going to buy when you go to the grocery store tomorrow, and you're going to meal prep and you're going to make all of your food. And this is the start of something new. And it is. You keep on showing up, because a certainty when it comes to starting any new habit is that motivation, that initial rush at 3 a.m. where you're like, it's time to get it together. It's time to start moving my body. You sign up for the gym membership and you buy the workout sets and you're really getting excited around being you, just the best version of yourself, and allowing your habits and routines to reflect that. Because I think that's the worst part about being ensnared in a bad habit, is that you're like, this is not me. This is not how I want to be treating this precious vessel that gets me from place to place. This is not me. I know I have so much potential within me. So it puts me in this loop of nearly at some points like self-hate, because I'm just so sick of myself and treating myself like this when I know I have all of this potential within me, or that I know that I am somebody who is so worthy of true care of my vessel and not, eating Hot Pockets till 3 a.m. or whatever the bad habit is. And so yes, that motivation, that initial spark around it's time to get it together, it will fade, but what doesn't is discipline and willpower. And that's what we need for a new habit to stick. And that's what the cosmos is giving us in relation to this week's astrology, is showing up today and showing up tomorrow and showing up the next day and showing up the next day, whether our motivation is here, our motivation is here. Again, it's not about being perfect. It's not about being a robot. It's about attuning to your higher self. The new moon is opposing Neptune, so the version of you that you could be, right? The version of you who treats their vessel with respect, the version of you who shows up for that side hustle, the version of you who doesn't vape, or whatever it is, whatever habit that you're wanting to stick or release, what have you. You're tapping into that higher version of yourself, and you're being disciplined around planting the seeds to make that a reality, and to genuinely build momentum and genuinely build habits that stick. That is what this week's astrology is giving you. Will it be easy? Absolutely not. Earth energy is grounded. It's slow, it's steady. But will the seeds that you plant this week bloom beautifully? Will you genuinely be able to commit to this new healthier lifestyle? Will you genuinely be able to commit to this new side hustle, even if it takes some time to get off the ground? Absolutely. That's the vibe of this week's astrology. So we'll be taking a deep dive into this new moon, how it is that you can work with it, but the overall vibe check that I want to summarize, and again, you can fill in the details of the habit that you're trying to stick, is that energy where you're just like, I'm sick of myself. I'm sick of treating myself like this. I'm sick of not going after what it is that I genuinely want to do. I'm sick of beating myself up. I'm sick of being in this loop of guilt or shame. Enough. enough, a new start, a new me starts now. So we will be taking a deeper dive into this astrology as well as a day-by-day analysis, but I want to just firstly make a quick note that all times that I mention as we continue on the video is PDT, so Pacific time zone, so please adjust to your time zone if you are located elsewhere within the world. I do have a tendency to talk very fast, so please play with the gear icon to slow me down, or some of you speed me up, Turbo Haley, you know, do whatever helps you process the information. And then all timestamps are available below. If you want to jump to a particular day, jump back to a particular day. And then quick check-in for feedback. Let me know how the lighting looks. I have a new ring light because my old one, of course, stopped working. Very on brand for Mercury retrograde. Of course, when I was starting filming at 5 p.m., which is way later than I typically film, my ring light's not turning on. So I had to like shimmy to Best Buy, get a new ring light. I truly did not finish recording the Virgo New Moon horoscopes until 1 a.m. Special late night edition of Virgo New Moon. But anyways, part of the delay was because I had to go get this new ring light, but it has a capacity to make me warmer or cooler. So I've been playing with the lighting. This is more of a warm vibe. So let me know if you like this or if you like the typical cool tones, or if you notice, maybe that's just my Virgo moon, Virgo rising being overly dialed into details that don't ultimately matter. But anyways, let's go ahead and take it into Monday, September 11th. So good morning, happy Monday. So your horoscope for Monday really feels like that energy that I was talking about in the vibe check, where it's late at night and you just have this burst of motivation where you're like, okay, something's got to change. I don't want to treat my body like this anymore. I know I deserve more. Because the moon will be in Leo all day, and we know that Leo is the king queen archetype. It is the energy around knowing our worth and living our life with our head held high and shoulders rolled back, knowing who it is that we are. And again, a lot of us are being very critical right now with all of the Virgo within the cosmos, analyzing and hyperfixating on everything within ourselves and everything within our life that isn't right. But this Leo energy is a essentially astrological reminder to start holding ourselves to this higher standard around who it is that we are, and also who it is that we could be if our routines reflected it. And so the Leo moon sextiles Mars and Libra around 5 a.m. Great time to work out for any of my early bird worker outers. We know Mars and Libra isn't particularly comfortable there, but a benefit of Mars and Libra is that we can be more motivated, that's the energetic of Mars, to make things pretty or make things more harmonious. That's the energy of Libra. And then the Leo moon meets up with Venus. So that's the part of the vibe check where I was saying, like, you're making a vision board, right? You're on Pinterest, pinning recipes, pinning workouts. You're buying the workout set, like you're wanting things to be essentially pretty, and you're focusing on the vision of what it could be. So some of you might be in that space. I will let you know just when it comes to your practical reality. The energy of the Leo moon conjoining Venus may be really nice to go for a long lunch break, to soak up the end of summer, because in the Northern Hemisphere, summer does end next week. So maybe spending time in the sunshine. This is the last Leo moon that we have of the summer season, or just spending time connecting with others. It might be nice for some sort of meeting or something creative. You will definitely be in the mood to want to dress up on Monday. So start this week around feeling your best, putting on an outfit that makes you feel like the most confident version of yourself, and moving into this week optimistically and enthusiastically. Because listen, you can say it's superficial all that you want, but getting ready can be a ritual. Getting ready can be casting a spell over your day. Getting ready can be a form of magic, truly. Because what you are signaling is you are signaling to yourself you are worthy of investing in. You are worthy of being adorned. You are worthy of feeling good. And when you have that energy around pouring into yourself first thing, you show up in that meeting different. You show up on YouTube different. You show up into the world different because you've poured into yourself, and you can walk into environments with your head held high, your shoulders rolled back, knowing that you are the king or the queen of your universe, and that can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I just want to say Monday would be a great day to get dressed up, or at least get ready, pour some energy into yourself so that you feel your best. Again, we talked about this last week. It's not about being the best, it's about being your best. And I won't lie to you, Monday is not giving the most productive day that ever happened. The Leo moon then builds to square Jupiter, which sometimes can make us a little lazy, where it's like, oh, I should get ahead on my deadlines this week, but I don't really want to. Or I should do this, but I don't really want to. I would rather chit chat with my coworkers or post on social media or something of the nature, with the moon meeting up with Venus and squaring Jupiter. Online shopping, all I'm saying, watch the budget this week. We do have have Venus squaring Jupiter, which can make us a little spendy, and we can feel some of that energy baking on Monday. Like, why would I work when I could be looking at cute workout sets online for my new fit rebrand or what have you? So I just want to let you know that, but it can be a very loving day. It would be a really sweet day to send a text to someone that you adore, right? With Moon squaring Jupiter, our emotions can be pronounced. And on that note, this is a very important note. If I'm telling you this and you happen to be watching on Monday and you're like, girly girl, I'm not feeling this Leo energy. I feel not so great. I'm so emotional. A lot is happening. Jupiter expands what it touches for better and for worse. So certainly it could be expanding the Leo mood, heart center, generosity, just wanting to pour love into those that we adore. But it also can be this energy around expanding all of our emotions. That added to, we are currently in the waning crescent moon phase, the balsamic moon, and it is Monday, moon day. So what the moon is doing is of the utmost importance. And so when it comes to this lunar phase, it's all about closing out, shedding, and releasing. So if a lot's coming up, it's because the new moon for you is even more impactful this Thursday. If you're looking at clutter and it's just making you sick of yourself and sick of your life and you're feeling this urge, just clean everything, clear out everything, you are aligned with the cosmos and you are particularly planting a new seed with Thursday's new moon. So honor the emotions that come up, allow them a container to be held. If you do feel a call to want to be releasing things, it's because you're calling something into your universe. So the best thing that you can do is allow your instincts to move through you. Don't try to judge them. Let's be real, it's Virgo season. You might judge them a little bit, okay? But allow them the space to be felt. And honestly, with the moon in Leo, give yourself space to be dramatic, okay? Give yourself space to be a little dramatic with it. Why just cry when you could cry and sob and write a sonnet about it, right? Like sometimes when we just allow ourselves to feel these emotions big and dramatic rather than just stuffing them down, holding it together under a really composed veneer, because of course that's a part of Virgo season, right? Sometimes when we just allow ourselves after the workday is done to just sob and be dramatic and write a sonnet, cut their photograph out of all the photos that we have with them, or whatever it is that we need to do to heal. Pretend you're in a movie montage. Like sometimes it helps to just have these really dramatic moments just to clear it out, because sometimes they just want to be felt. And with Virgo season, we're feeling this tendency to want to keep it under a veneer, to exude this energy around I'm perfect and everything's together, even if that's not the case necessarily beneath the surface. Because sometimes Virgos can exude that aura around, I've got it all together, and my business and my issues have nothing to do with you. And sometimes people can even perceive them as snooty or prissy or goody two-shoes, because they do have this tendency to want to project this certain, essentially, veneer of perfection, even if things are quite messy on the inside. Again, not all Virgos, but I do want to highlight that because in Virgo season, you too could be feeling this pressure around just needing to keep it together, keep it together, keep it together, right? And with the energy of the Leo moon, especially as we're prepping for the Virgo new moon, allow yourself to have a release knowing that a new start is coming on Thursday. Adding to this energy around movie moments and being dramatic, the Leo moon trines Chiron. So again, if we allow our emotions to be big and pronounced, we can create the pathway forward to healing. And like I said, not all of us will feel this. Honestly, with the energy of Leo moon squaring Jupiter, you could be more generous, you could be more exuberant, you could be in the mood to enjoy life. So just honor what is moving through you on Monday and allow what wants to be released as you're prepping for the new moon that's building in the cosmos for you. And you know, with the Leo moon meeting up with Venus and squaring Jupiter, we're in the mood to enjoy life. We're in the mood to have fun. But I just want to let you know, if there are important tasks on your to-dos, it might be nice to get them done on Monday. As just a heads up, Tuesday, the moon is void pretty much all day. So just a heads up. And also, a lot of us feel before waning crescent moon, sometimes what comes through, rather than feeling, emotional or wanting to clean out everything, some of us feel really exhausted, really, really drained, really not in the mood to socialize, more introverted. So again, follow your instincts. It's Monday, moon day, all about what is it that I need? How is it that I can nurture myself? How is it that I can take care of myself? How is it that I can infuse moments of beauty and pleasure into my day with the moon meeting up with Venus? Because it doesn't need to be this big production, right? It could just be taking time to get ready in the morning and listening to your favorite album. It can be going for a walk and smelling the flowers. It can be chatting with your coworker and really feeling present as you listen to their story. There's moments of beauty and joy everywhere, but it is is embedded within the mundane. It's Virgo season, and part of our work is to excavate those moments and to expand those moments of joy and beauty. So on Tuesday, the moon's void pretty much all day, and the closing aspect is a square to Uranus. So that occurs at 8:06, and get this, the moon does not enter Virgo until 10:18 p.m. PDT. Void moon from 8:06 a.m. to 10:18 p.m. And if you're new here, when the moon is void, important tasks we must avoid, if possible, okay? And the closing aspect, this flavors the void quite a bit. The closing aspect of this void is the Leo moon squaring Uranus. So it's restlessness. We could be feeling really restless. Again, there's this part, even though there's blessings of this week, okay, we'll get to the blessings. There's part of this week where it's just super restless. You're just sick of yourself. You're wanting to jump out of your own skin. You're like, everything is wrong. I'm so sick of these hot pockets. I'm so sick of the way that I've been living. I'm so sick of the way that I've been feeling. I'm so sick of the way that my skin looks. I'm so sick of the way that my hair looks. I just want a new life. And again, you don't want a new life. You just want a life and external that reflects all of the potential and all of the love that you have for yourself internally. But again, we're getting the ick. Like really with Mercury retrograde in Virgo, we're getting the ick with ourselves around how is this how I've been showing up? How is this how I've been taking care of my home? How is this how I've been eating or what have you? And again, it might not be so pronounced for every single soul, but what I want to say on Tuesday is that we could just want to be anywhere but here. It can be very, very hard to focus. We can be feeling very restless. Technical difficulties can be abounding at this moment. The Wi-Fi's down, the printer's not working. That's really getting in the way of our to-dos. You're trying to film content and you don't know how to talk suddenly. Mercury retrograde is a struggle with that, most certainly. Or with moon squaring Uranus, you're just like trying to do something, but you keep getting distracted or your phone's blowing up. Like with the energy of Uranus, we could just be feeling kind of all over the place, a little chaotic. You could be in the mood to do something, a little spontaneous. Honestly, we could just be feeling kind of bored. And with the squared Uranus, wanting to be shaking something up. So that's for the entirety of Tuesday. Your emotions can also feel kind of volatile up and down. And like I said, you're craving some sort of change within your reality. And it's really important to highlight that we aren't approaching this through this lens of self-hate around, you need to go to the gym because you've been the worst and you're horrible. It's more so around with the Leo moon. It's like, I know my worth. I know who it is that I am. I know my heart. I know my potential. I deserve to feel my best. Like with the square to Uranus, it's like, I'm shaking things up because I know that I could treat myself better than how it is that I've been treating myself. Like that's the energetic with the Leo moon squaring Uranus that I want you to honor. So you might be getting the ick with yourself, and it happens, okay? You might be getting the ick with others. That's a big part of Virgo season, is just suddenly getting the ick. And if you're not familiar with the ick, it's just basically a moment when you just get kind of like grossed out. And it could be with a person, it could be with a certain behavior that's been exuded within your life. And there's just this energy around just feeling like repelled, like, ugh, no. But again, with Mercury retrograde, how is it that we are leveraging this data around what's coming up? Like genuinely, what are the parts of you that are craving change, that are feeling restless, that are not feeling like your current lifestyle, your current routines are reflecting the, let's be real, the Leo moon, the royalty that exists within you? It's helpful to kind of pin down what parts of you are restless, because seriously, sometimes with the square to Uranus, you could be so bored and feel so restless that you're like, okay, well maybe I just need some excitement. So then you hit up a situationship from the past, and then 2 hours later, you're like, why did I do that? Like, that's not even where my restlessness was coming from. Like, it was actually coming from somewhere else. That's why I'm saying be an excavator of where is this coming from? Where is this alive within me? Why do I feel uneasy? Why do I feel unhappy? Why do I feel restless? Why do I feel like I haven't been treating myself the best? Because when you can have that aha moment, that is the first step to a habit around, this is not serving me. This is bringing more bad than good into my universe. Or this is where my current experience, because again, Uranus does have to do with individuality. This is where my current experience does not reflect the whole of who it is that I am and how I'm wanting my creativity to come through, how I'm wanting my heart to come through, or anything of that nature. So observe it, but know there are moments on Tuesday where there's just this energy of discomfort around like, ugh, something's off and I don't know what is. And your job with Mercury retrograde Virgo is to sleuth into it. Where am I feeling restless? Where am I feeling like my true essence isn't an exact fit to my external reality? Because again, you're gifted a new opportunity to plant new seeds around it, around improving it. And then at 10:18, the moon enters Virgo. It's building to oppose Saturn. That happens early on Wednesday around 3 a.m. And again, that's the feeling of the ick. Like the energy of Virgo moon is processing all of the details, and with the opposition to Saturn, everything feels off or heavy or burdensome or wrong in some way. We could be getting the ick at the way that our partner chews, or getting the ick on how our closet is organized, or getting the ick around what it is that we ate for lunch, right? Like again, with the opposition to Saturn, we can be feeling hard on ourselves, but again, growth opportunity. Because here's the thing about perfectionism, is that we tend to think that perfectionism, which is an important conversation because we are in Virgo season, we tend to think perfectionism should be something that helps us, but it is something that hinders you more than helps you in multiple ways. Because sometimes our perfectionism can make us get into shame habits, where it's like we're looking at the Hot Pockets that we ate, or we're looking at all of the vapes that we went through last week, or we're looking at how we've had this idea for this podcast and we haven't done it for like 3 years and we're so annoyed. We could be looking at all that and feeding into this shame cycle around not feeling good enough, around even getting into a cycle around like self-hate, just feeling so down on ourselves that we're like, why should I even try to improve my lifestyle? I am a piece of trash. And see how that's not helpful. And sometimes our perfectionism can even hinder our habits. Either we can try to perfectly plan our new habit, right? Like I can't start going to the gym until my sets come in. I got to plan everything perfectly. Like that can actually be a form of procrastination. Imperfect action is better than perfect planning. I just want to make that super clear, because it's Virgo season. I'm not going to let you miss this grand earth trine because you still feel like you have to plan and make everything perfect. It's all about just showing up. Show up imperfectly, show up messily, but at least you're showing up. And sometimes perfectionism can even make us fall off the wagon when it comes to habits. Like if we miss one day, then being like, why even bother showing up tomorrow because I missed yesterday? And then that just continues. That can snowball as well. A great mantra to have in your mind is never miss twice. When it comes to this new habit, like in the vibe check, this new fit lifestyle, you are going to have days that you don't go to the gym. You are going to have days that you go back to eating Hot Pockets at 3 a.m. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not about having this perfect new start. It's about planting the seeds around this new healthy habit. And if you miss a day, whatever, you'll get it tomorrow. It's success is a balanced lifestyle. That feels important with Mars being in Libra. It's about balance. So it's not saying throw yourself into only eating kale and quinoa and then feeling horrible if you ingest anything else. Because again, when we are eating something with those feelings of guilt and shame around, oh my gosh, you're the worst that you're eating this, you're also ingesting those feelings of guilt and shame. Like it is an energetic process. So as you start this new habit, give yourself grace. It's not going to go perfectly. And with the Virgo moon opposing Saturn, give yourself grace. You are a work in progress. You are not a work in perfect, okay? And again, honor the data, but don't take it personally. How it is that you've been treating yourself, your current habits, your current routines does not reflect all that you are and all that you could be. And it bears worthy of repeating that Virgo is a mutable earth sign. And I think the mutable part is what gets people kind of confused about Virgo, because you may know mutable is the modality that's all about change and adaptability and being able to adjust. And a lot of you may say, well, Virgo is all about planning and perfectionism and what have you, but the energy of Virgo is about being able to adapt. And adapt what? Mutable earth. Adapt our physical, tangible experience to be able to change our life via changing our actions, which is why Virgo is all about habits and routine, which may feel set in stone, but bring your focus back. Virgo is a mutable sign. Mutable means change. We can change our habits. If there's a new one you want to add in, if there's a bad one you want to take out, this is the time. And habits account, just read the study, for 40% of the daily actions that we take every single day. So your habits are either getting you closer to that higher version of yourself that you see within your mind's eye, or getting you further away. And again, when I say that, it's not to put you in a guilt or shame around, oh my gosh, I'm getting away from my higher self, I'm the worst, but it's just shining awareness to that so you can have that growth orientation around, okay, the way that I'm showing up is not the way that I want to be showing up moving forward. So I'm going to take this mutable earth energy and plant some new habits. So really important, because whether you're feeling this in regards to your habits or just on Tuesday night, just feeling blah, just feeling over it, having a lot of responsibility, things can be messy and you're super annoyed. You're like, how are things dirty again? This life is so cyclical. You could just be having a blah feeling, but it's a blah night, okay? It's not a blah life. So on Wednesday, the 13th, so as I highlighted in Tuesday's portion, the Virgo moon opposes Saturn in Pisces at 3 a.m. So we're kind of gonna wake up a little blah a little over it. There's a lot to do. There's a lot in the to-dos. Because like I said, Monday and Tuesday doesn't really feel that productive. And on Wednesday, it just feels like one of those days around, whew, there is so much to do. I don't even know where to start. There's a lot of emails coming through. There's a lot of to-dos. And again, there's like a weight on us. So again, just highlighting, if emotions are feeling heavy, they're feeling heavy for your new start. That's building on Thursday night, okay? So allow it to come through. And the Virgo moon is meeting up with Mercury later in the day, which could be just making you feel really, really obsessive. Again, wanting perfection. The good news about Wednesday is that it does feel like you will be productive, but where is this productivity coming from? Because it feels like with the opposition to Saturn, from guilt around, okay, you have to do this. I can't believe you procrastinated on this. You have to fix this or handle this or what have you. And with the Virgo moon meeting up with Mercury, it's a lot of mental activity. You could be overwhelmed a little bit or a little frazzled. To-do lists would be helpful. It was fun reading how you guys like kind of regulate your day-to-days within the comments. And I know not everybody is a to-do list person or a time block person, but on Wednesday, it might be helpful just with the Virgo moon on Mercury. Might be like, oh, I have to do this and I have to do this. And with the opposition to Saturn, something's feeling heavy. There could have been something that wasn't ideal happening at work. There could be pressure on you or just emotional struggles that you are navigating. And just with the moon meeting up with Mercury, your mind can just be in a million different places. And honestly, you could just be being super hard on yourself, right? Or overthinking quite a bit. Like with the Virgo moon on Mercury, it's giving me this energy around thinking about what Cheryl said to you over the weekend. Be like, what did Cheryl mean by that? Or like, was I so awkward when I said that? Or be like, why didn't I say this? Like, you know, when you're in your head, just like overthinking, that's kind of a Wednesday energy around, oh, was that email super weird? Or was the way that I led that meeting super weird? It happened how it was meant to happen. All you can do is move on. This little visual exercise that I do when I observe myself going down that run, oh my God, why did I say that? Or, oh, that was so weird, or I should have said this, or what have you. I just visualize a safety deposit box. I put that experience into that safety deposit box. I close it, I lock it, I put it away, and then I open the safety deposit box of what my mind needs to be focused on now. So it's a nice way to like compartmentalize. If there's any thought process or any loop that you're not trying to honor, it's helpful to like literally see yourself shutting it, locking it, just be like, okay, no more. We're putting this here. This line of thinking is not helping me. All I can do is strive to do better next time. Because that's the biggest thing, is when we get ourselves in this black or white thinking around we are either perfect or the worst. We were either a normal person in that social interaction or totally weird or awkward. Like, I guarantee nobody's thinking about that comment as much as you are. Let me highlight this. And also, we lose out on our ability to grow when we view things through that black or white around, oh my gosh, you were so awkward, you were the worst, no one's ever going to invite you anywhere ever. You lose out on the opportunity to grow from that experience. So again, take the data, keep it moving. It's not help you to overthink whatever it is that's on your agenda. And just really important to have a course of action on Wednesday of things that you want to accomplish and just muscle through it. I do mean muscle because with the opposition to Saturn, there does feel like there's a little extra pressure on our day-to-day. And know that this too shall pass, as early on Thursday, we have a trine to Jupiter. You may feel this perhaps on Wednesday night, the moon building to trine Jupiter around wanting to enjoy life, around wanting to be around beauty or enjoyment or what have you. So on Thursday, September 14th, we have the Virgo New Moon landing at 6:40 p.m. PDT at 21 degrees Virgo. Now I have done a deep dive into this energy, where it's landing within your chart, how you can intend with this abundant, fertile, grand earth trine rush of energy. So make sure to check that out. I'll link it above as well as below to find out what is particularly supported with your chart. But let's get into the energy of this new moon. So like I said, it's involved in a grand earth trine. So the Virgo new moon is at 21 degrees, trining Uranus in Taurus, which is at 22 degrees, trining Pluto in Capricorn, which is at 28 degrees. So I use orbs of up to 9 degrees. So because they are all essentially building to trine one another, that's our grand earth trine. And it's worth noting that the new moon is also trining Jupiter, which is sitting at 15 degrees. So even though Jupiter in Taurus is involved in the new moon, it can't sit with the earth grand trine. And the reason for that, in case anyone's wondering, is because it's at 15 degrees, Pluto in Capricorn's at 28 degrees. They're not technically trining one another. So Jupiter's not involved with the grand earth trine, even though it's trining the new moon. So Jupiter's there and it's supporting your intentions, but it's not technically part of the grand earth trine. Just wanted to highlight that. And the new moon is also opposing Neptune. So what does this mean for you and for your Virgo new moon intentions? As I said, Virgo is particularly supportive around our habits and our routines. And before you get bored, you're like, Haley Comet, I want to manifest love with this new moon. I want to manifest fame with this new moon. Listen, these big experiences are made up of small decisions, small actions, and that's what the Virgo new moon is particularly supported for. It's not just intending upon what it is that we want, but the true discipline in order to maintain it. The building of a momentum to be able to show up for this habit. You might have this big picture of this fit lifestyle that is made up of a lot of little decisions that you make every single day. For example, you might want a vast amount of money, but do you have the work ethic to maintain making that amount of income? Do you have the knowledge to grow that income via investing or what have you? Do you have the discipline to not spend that money right when it comes in? This new moon, it's giving steady, consistent momentum to continue to show up, even if that growth is steady. We talked about last week, sometimes steady growth can be a blessing. Like we've all heard of the lottery winners who win it all and then spend it right away, or the social media stars who blow up overnight and then a year later, nobody knows their name. Sometimes that steadiness, adjusting and getting your bearing in this current iteration of your business, this current iteration of your YouTube channel, even your relationship can be a blessing. Don't feel like things have to happen overnight. In nature, worth noting, because it is Earth Grand Trine, in nature, everything gets done and according to divine timing. Don't feel like everything has to happen overnight. The blessings that we're being given in September, it's not being given a plant that's already grown, right? It's not like, here you go, here's all the money right away, here's the relationship right away, here's the body right away, right? It's giving us the seed to plant it. We're gonna have to show up, we're gonna have to water it, we're gonna have to be disciplined and diligent to see it sprout. But it's a sort of plant that's anchored in soil and it continues to grow, versus being given a fully grown plant and having no idea how to maintain it, how to grow it, where to plant it, right? Like sometimes when we're with the process from the beginning up, we respect it, we respect the process. And that's so huge with your journey. It's just to respect the process. And I want to let you know you can change your habits, even if there's something that you feel so entrapped in, so ensnared in, you're so down on yourself because you're like, Haley Comet, I've tried to do this before, I've tried to get this going before and it didn't work out. Think about past habits that you have started that are now automatic, that you do on autopilot, that you don't even think about, right? It's like, well, obviously, when I'm getting ready for work, I pack my lunch, I pack my gym bag, and I go to the gym right after work. It's just part of my routine. It's natural, it's breathing. Because when we eliminate that decision fatigue around, should I go to the gym tomorrow? Should I do it tomorrow? When it's just like automatic around, well, yeah, I'm gonna go. That's when our actions can begin to build that dream life that we see within our mind's eye, that fit version of ourselves, that millionaire version of ourselves. When our actions reflect it, we get closer to manifesting it. Even if the totally fit body hasn't shown up or the millions haven't shown up, the more that your actions reflect the life that you're building, the more you're getting closer to it. And this new moon is equally like asking you, like, how badly do you want it? Like, are you willing to do the work to grow that plant, right? Because we all want the plant that's already grown. We all want that fit body to show up right away, those millions to show up right away, instant gratification. And I'm being honest with you, this new moon is not that. But if you know with certainty that you could not fail if you showed up, you knew for certainty that if you showed up for yourself, you would get what it is that you want. Would you do it? That's a genuine question. It's really asking, how badly do you want it? Are you willing to show up for it? Are you willing to water the seed and grow it? Because I'm telling you, you'll have so much more pride eating the fruit of that labor, right? When you see it grow from nothing into something versus just buying the fruit tree from the store. Because sure, you have the fruit now, but can you maintain it so it continues to bloom, so that it continues to grow bigger? That's the question of this new moon. And this new moon is opposing Neptune, which does give this rose-colored glasses vibe over it, right? Maybe we're idealizing it a little bit. We're envisioning this fit lifestyle, you know, at 3 a.m., you're pinning all this stuff on Pinterest. You're like, this is the new me, right? I am this fit person. Like the first day of school, on back to school, you're like, 7th grade me is never going to be awkward. My crush is going to like me. Are we being a little idealistic, a little delusional? Yes, but can that have positive ramifications for our actions? Absolutely. Like we're being a little idealistic, right? Like you might be pinning, you know, pictures of fit people on Pinterest, being like, I can't wait until my body looks exactly like like theirs. And maybe that's helpful for motivation, but it's important to know it's not going to look exactly like yours. It's going to be an up-leveled version of your body because you might not have their body type. But the aim of getting fit and the aim of anything that we're intending for our world is to be the best that we can possibly be. Chisel and treat this body the best that it could possibly be. Or have you ever had a crush that like motivated you to like do better and be better? That's what this new moon is giving, because there's like an idealistic reasoning of why we're improving our physical, tangible reality. So like, for example, if you have a crush at school, like always wanting to look cute, like maybe in our idealistic version, it's like, oh, so my crush falls in love with me. But alas, the physical ramifications and rewards of that is that we're taking better care of ourselves. We're showing up in the highest version of ourselves. Or maybe you're working harder at school because you want to impress your crush when you answer the questions, or maybe you have a work crush, right? So you always want to be on it at work, or what have you. Crushes can be powerful fuel because again, there's this idealistic reasoning that's opposite to Neptune, and we're improving our reality. We're dressing better. We're taking better care of our body. We're doing better in school. Maybe we want to make more money so that we can take our crush out on a nice date, or what have you. There's this like dreamy ideal of why we are showing up to improve our tangible reality. But maybe it's not a crush for you. Maybe it's that version of your higher self who has that business that you want, right? Or who has that body of yours that you want, that's infusing your daily reality. And will it look different when it's actually part of your daily reality? Absolutely. But can it be used as motivation to improve your physical daily reality? Absolutely. Whether it's a crush or a higher version of yourself or a goal that you want to reach, you can use that as a stimulus to grow, to show up for your reality. And sure, Neptune casts a rose-colored glaze over it. Will it look different? Will our body look different than what we pinned on Pinterest? Will our crush, when we start dating them, probably have some flaws that get under our skin? Will that business that we've been dreaming about take a lot of work and take a lot of effort, even if we are living our dream? Absolutely. But again, that vision or what it is that we're working for or we're inspired by, we can use as fuel. We can use as a stimulus to grow and to improve our physical reality. Like, for example, I used to be a very inconsistent flosser. Like, I would feel good about myself if I did it like twice a week. I would be like, that's a good week if I floss twice a week. I know, not ideal, not good. Don't worry. I'm on my daily grind now. And here's how I did it. My old dentist was the coolest. She was the coolest person. She was young, she was hip, she was fashionable. Her outfits were always on point, hair on point, makeup on point. She had this really like cool girl demeanor, and she was always so kind to me, so sweet to me. So she was just the coolest, and I always loved coming in to see her. She was a Virgo sun, Virgo moon, Virgo rising. No wonder she's a dentist, so maybe that's why this Virgo new moon was making me think of her. We would always chit chat a lot, but during the initial onboarding of like getting to know me and my teeth, she asked me how much I flossed, and I kept it real. I was like twice a week, and she was a little disappointed in me. Like literally her vibe was like disappointed in me, and she was like, yeah, you're gonna want to do that every single day. I'm like, you know how you get around beautiful women that you're just like a little nervous, a little intimidated, and you just want to do whatever they say. I was like, okay, I won't let you down, I promise. So then after that, I was like, I cannot let her down. During our next checkup in 6 months time, she is going to be blown away. So seriously, I committed to flossing every single night. And again, at first you have to have that nudge to yourself around, okay, gotta floss. But soon, if you do it like, technically, the amount of days does vary on the person, but a good kind of barometer is like 59 days. If you do something for 59 days, it could be considered a habit, and it's like automatic. Now, if I go to sleep and I don't floss, I feel so weird. I have to buy floss if I'm traveling somewhere and forget it. Like, it's just part of my daily routine, and it has improved my teeth. Like, now it's just natural. Now it's just so natural to me. Cannot go to sleep without flossing. And let me just say, at that 6-month checkup, she was so impressed. So again, was it a little delusional? Like, does she really care if I don't floss? I mean, maybe, she's a dentist, but to me, I was just like, I just want her to be proud of me. Again, it's like the opposition to Neptune, like a little delusional, right? Like she's not really going to care. It's not going to affect her daily life, whether I do or not. But I wanted her to be proud of me. I wanted her to cheerlead me, and absolutely she did. And that habit continued, even though she's not my dentist any longer. That was just the stimulus I needed to start showing up for it, right? Sometimes we need that motivation, that fuel, whether it's within our own mind or, again, trying to impress someone else. It's not really about the person. It's just about the motivation that person can allow us to dig deep and find within ourselves to start showing up for ourselves, to be the best version of ourselves, essentially. Think of past habits that you've started where it's like, obviously I wake up and put collagen in my coffee. That's what I do every single morning. Or like, obviously I do squats when I'm brushing my teeth. That's what I do every single night. Like, it starts small, but those small decisions can really add up. And that habit stuck. even though she's not my dentist any longer. Miss her. She was fab. It was nothing to do with her. I actually was uninvited to that dentist office. I was kindly requested to no longer set foot within that building. And before you think I like created a big scene or was a big problem, dental patient, it's not that at all. They just had beef with my insurance provider. And it turned out that the dental office was billing my insurance provider wrong the entire time. Like they were the drama. Like they were the drama of it all. They were billing it under a different dentist that I wasn't going to. And of course, the healthcare system here in the US is such a mess, and I was only covered for the dentist, my fab dentist, that I would go to, not the other dentist there, and she would always bill it under the other dentist, so my insurance would reject it, and then I would get all these scary bills in the mail for like $700, and I'm like, why do I have insurance if this $700? And I would have to call. It was like a saga for like a year until they finally called me, and they're like, we would like you to never come back. And they were the drama. It turned out they were the drama. They were the issue. They were the one who put the wrong dentist name on all the bills and are keeping me and my fab dentist apart. But it's okay. I have a new dentist. She's a Pisces. Love her. She's always traveling. Every time I see her, she's going to somewhere fun. She's living her best dentist life. So I really do have good karma with dentists. I really do find a lot of good dentists, but will always love my initial Virgo queen who got me on flossing. So sometimes you need like a delusional motivation like that to get something going, right? Sometimes you do need the vision board, even though the manifestation when it shows up is going to look slightly different, right? It's not just going to be the aesthetic of the workout set that you are buying. It's also going to be you sweating and building muscles in the gym. And those 6 a.m. wake up calls are going to be a lot harder than the glossy fit people that you're pinning on Pinterest. And the recipes that you've been pinning are going to be a little challenging to make when every part of you just wants to drive through somewhere because it'd be so much quicker. It's a lot harder for you to go home because you know you deserve fresh, healthy food, right? Like life is not always going to be that idealized glossy reason of why it is that we show up, but that ideally glossy reason can be the motivation or the stimulus for us to get going to improve our daily reality. So there are particular aspects of your chart that are particularly supported with this new start, so you'll want to check out the Virgo New Moon. But all in all, this is really beautiful as it relates to anything earthy. We've got an Earth Grand Trine, financial blessings, health blessings, habit blessings. Again, take that daydream, what it is that you dream of, what it is that you want. Ask yourself, is this showing up within my day-to-day? Is my day-to-day taking me closer to what it is that I want, or am I getting further away? Because this new moon trines Pluto. If we do not evolve, we decline. So on Friday, the 15th, happy Mercury Direct Day. So Mercury is shifting directions, but before you launch all the things and do all the updates, Mercury will not clear the shadow, which is our official cosmic green light, until the end of the month. So I would still hold tight if there's anything brand new that you want to put out there or want to announce. But if there is like an iteration of something that you've already launched, the Virgo new moon can be a nice time, like a half hour before, a half hour after, but really the new moon energy is active for the next 3 days. So something to consider. But if it's like a brand new launch out of nowhere, maybe pause until Mercury is treading through some new degrees. So with Mercury Direct, we're taking all of that data of what Mercury retrograde in Virgo is bringing up around what's wrong in our habits and our routines and our physical life. And now we're getting forward cleans around, okay, taking all that data and moving forward. Make sure to check out my Mercury retrograde in Virgo all signs rating to figure out where it was going within your chart and thus what life arenas it was bringing up. And it goes direct at 1:21 p.m. And I do want to let you know, we feel planets strong as they switch directions. So you might have some technical difficulties, or even sometimes the day that Mercury stations, and this might just be me because I'm Mercury ruled, sometimes it's hard for me to talk. It's hard for me to have the words. I get tongue-tied and confused, or my mind can feel all over the place. So that absolutely can be an energetic that you are experiencing as you navigate Friday. But with Friday's Sun trine Uranus, there's this forward momentum that's building. You know, Mercury is direct, we're looking towards the future. And with Sun trine Uranus, we're acknowledging that we can change our life, because that's the first step to starting any new habit or starting any new beneficial action that will improve your life, is understanding that you do have the ability to change. And I think this is important to remember, because Uranus is in Taurus, and Taurus is a very steady, fixed energy, right? But Uranus moving through Taurus is a reminder that even things that feel concrete, like how it is that you spend your morning, because that's just what's on autopilot, can be shifted. And is it uncomfortable at first, building that muscle, building that momentum around showing up for that new action around, I want to go home, but I'm going to go to the gym or what have you? Absolutely. Soon it'll just be automatic. It'll be autopilot. You won't have that mental fatigue around, what should I do? Or like even that mental loop around, I'm the worst, I didn't go to the gym again. It's like, if you miss one day, whatever, I'll show up tomorrow. And I also want to say that with Sun trine Uranus, honor that your routines and your dreams are going to show up in your own way. That's why I'm saying, like, of course, you can use the Pinterest if you want to, but understand that your body won't look like their body. It'll look like a version of your body that is fit and healthy and feels good within your skin, right? Striving to be the best version of yourself possible. And also honoring that other people's process might not be your process. And that can show up within your business, like maybe within your business, everyone else does things like this, or everybody else creates content like this, and you want to do it some way different. Maybe that's your way, your ticket to abundance, right? With Uranus and Taurus, empowering your own way is towards showing up. That's Sun. That's how it is that we exude. Maybe how your friend Marsha got fit is not the way that you get fit. Maybe she's a yoga girly and you try in the yoga classes, but your body doesn't really like moving like that. Maybe for some people, doing their extensive skincare routine at night works best. Maybe for you, you love starting your day like that. Like again, it's finding what works for you. Because when you find habits that work for you, they're much more sustainable for you to continue. Like for me with exercise, I tried so hard to be a HIIT girly. I tried so hard to be a HIIT girly. And if you're not familiar with HIIT, it's high interval.
What is it? High, I know there's two I's. High interval, intermediate, intermittent. High interval, intermittent? Hold on. We're all gonna learn today. What does HIIT? Because there's two I's. Okay. High interval, whoops.
High intensity interval training. Okay, so we all learned today. See, I don't even know what it means. No wonder it didn't work for me. Like I tried so hard to be a HIIT girly. Like I used to go to these like yoga sculpt classes in my area with my friend, which just as a PS, if anybody's trying to get on a new exercise routine, doing it with a friend or just planning a class a week that you go to with a friend is such a great idea because you have that reward built in around you get to see your friend. It keeps you accountable because your friend will be like, girly girl, we were supposed to grab a coffee. Where are you at the sculpt class, right? I tried so hard to be a sculpt girly and I would hate it. I would go because I was there with my friend and I would be so excited when it was time for us to go get a coffee or a smoothie after. I'd be like, thank God that's over. I'm sweaty. That was hard. And I would try at home too. There was like a YouTuber that I would watch and I got all of these weights. Like I have weights up to 25 degrees and I would hate it. It was so hard. And I would like stay in bed just be like, I don't want to, but I have to for me to be able to drink my smoothie. That's another tip for getting into exercise routine. I have this smoothie that I love to make. It's like my favorite smoothie to make and I only drink it after workouts. So now I get excited to work out because I know the smoothie's on the other side of it. So it's helpful to pair things with a reward, whether it's seeing a friend at a workout class, right? Or getting to drink a smoothie after, or we'll get into the Venus square Jupiter of it all, buying a workout set, right? If you are dedicated enough to run every single day or what have you, having little rewards like that sometimes can help build that muscle within that time that it takes to build that habit until it's automatic. So I tried so hard to be a HIIT girly and I would do it so that I got to drink my smoothie that I love so much, so that I got to see my friend for the endorphins. Like I would feel good after, but I hated going to it. Like everything in my body was just like, oh, it's so hard and so hot in there and the weights are so heavy. I would see all the other sculptors alongside me and I was like, well, this is the way that you get fit. This is the way that you get stronger. This is the way that you take care of your body. Even though my body would repel and want to stay in bed, be like, I don't want to do my YouTube class. I would be like, this is the way that you need to move. This is the way that you need to get fit because it was what was around me. But again, what's around you might not be what's best for you. Maybe you love walks rather than group exercise classes. Maybe you like to dance and that's your favorite form of workout. Like being healthy is all about finding what works for you. Because same even with nutrition, it's not about salads with every meal. It's just making sure that you're getting the nutrients that you need and creating a diet that works for you. Like it should be enjoyable, right? It doesn't have to be hell. And in fact, it's a lot more sustainable when there are facets of it that are enjoyable for you. So I tried to be a HIIT girly. And then finally, I decided to try a different exercise class. I tried Pilates. And when I say that is how my body likes to move, that is how my body likes to move. It's strengthening. dancing, it's stretching, it's fun. I look forward to it. Even beyond just getting to the smoothie, I look forward to the class itself. Like I get so excited around all of the different motions. It kind of feels like dancing, and I love being able to like observe the particular target muscles, because Pilates targets very particular little muscles. So it's kind of like a fun game within my Virgo mind to be like, okay, what muscles am I working at this moment, right? It just works for me, and I stopped trying to fit the mold around this is what the Pinterest girls are doing or this is what other people do. I just found what works for me, and it's had so many positive ramifications within my world towards just like feeling my best. And just a heads up, if anybody is looking for a Pilates instructor, I love Move with Nicole on YouTube. She's a Pisces, and a lot of her classes are by the ocean. It is absolutely the best. So I do Move with Nicole a couple times a week, then I go to a Pilates studio in town, and then I do some dance classes here and there, because that's how my body likes to move. My heavy weights are just stacked up in a corner, gaining dust, because I just don't like it. It doesn't feel good for me. And you might be saying, Haley, Comet, all exercise feels like hell to me. I guarantee, try some different stuff. Maybe dancing feels really good in your body. Maybe lifting weights is where you thrive. Maybe the YouTube classes aren't it for you. Maybe you need to be in person. Maybe you're more of a solo person. You like to run. Maybe you like really intense workouts, or maybe like really chill workouts. It's all about finding what works for you, because that's what's going to make it much more sustainable. And that extends beyond exercise. That extends to work, right? Like building a business. If some of you are building a business or contemplating a side hustle, I definitely see that can be part of this Virgo new moon. It's going to be much easier for you to build success if you build it around what it is that you enjoy doing. Like, do not feel that you have to do what it is that you're doing the way that everybody else is doing it. Find your own way of showing up, because it's going to make it so much more sustainable and honestly enjoyable for you to show up towards it. Even how it is that you grow within a relationship. Like, again, let go of what the normal is or what the people are doing. Focus on being the best that you can, the best relationship that you can make in the ways that feel good, the best business that you can make in the ways that your energy likes to move, and the way that your creativity likes to move, the best exercise routine you can make in the ways that your body likes to move. It's all about using the data, right, with Mercury retrograde in Virgo, and with Sun trine Uranus, empowering new ways of being and new ways of showing up. And understand that you are powerful. You can make this happen, and every day is an opportunity to reinvent yourself. And I say that because overnight the Virgo moon opposed Neptune in Pisces, so there could be some interesting dreams, and then it trined Pluto in Capricorn, where it will be void from 6:49 to 10:44, at which point the moon enters Libra. And with the closing aspect being the Virgo moon trine Pluto, understanding every single opportunity is an opportunity for rebirth, for reinvention. Yesterday you might have ate Hot Pockets and stayed up till 3 a.m. and today is a new opportunity to make different decisions. What happened happened. Today is a brand new day, and you're gifted a new one. And again, just try not to skip twice. You can skip once, just try not to skip twice. Never miss 2 days. Every single day is a day to reinvent yourself. Who is it that you will be today? Whatever happened yesterday, it's done. Today is a new day that you've been blessed with, and a new day comes with new opportunities to take a step closer to your higher self, to your most powerful version, or decline into perfectionism. It needs to be perfect before I can show up, or getting stuck in that shame loop around, oh, well, now I just need to backpedal because I ate Hot Pockets and now it's all the worse. Like, again, it's a new day. The Hot Pockets have been digested. It is all good. Health is a balanced lifestyle. Okay, no need to have guilt or shame about it. Just you have a new opportunity to make new choices. So just don't skip twice. That's the mantra of whatever it is that you're committed to, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's a new healthy habit, whatever. Just try not to skip twice. Motivation waxes and wanes, okay? But your actions need to be somewhat consistent. And so with the moon transiting Libra on Friday, we could be in the mood to harmonize, the mood to connect, the mood to balance, perhaps. So on Saturday, September 16th, we are officially entering Venus squaring Jupiter territory, and it's even more pronounced because the moon is transiting Libra, so of course it's answering to Venus in Leo squaring Jupiter, and this is the final time that this aspect will occur. If you're having deja vu, you're like, Haley, Comet, haven't we chit-chatted about this before? Yes, we have. This was part of Venus's retrograde journey. So Venus is still clearing the shadow. It will clear the shadow officially beginning of October, but still moving through degrees that it has already traversed, hence why it's squaring Jupiter once more. And Jupiter expands what it touches, and Venus is our money, which is why it was built into the vibe check around you have this burst of motivation around, I'm gonna be this fit version. I see that higher self of me, that version of myself who is fit and healthy and takes care of myself and shows up as the best best iteration of myself. I see them within my mind's eye. So obviously I need to buy a bunch of workout sets and buy a gym membership. And like to a certain degree, sometimes when we do put money towards something, we are more motivated to get our money's worth and to show up for it. But also with Venus square Jupiter, don't feel like you have to rush all in and buy 20 workout sets for this new healthy lifestyle. Start with one workout set. Start with the 1 month membership to the gym, right? Because who knows, maybe you go to the gym and you're like, this is not it for me. And then you find a new, yoga studio, and that's the way that you like to move. Like again, giving yourself grace to find the routine that works for you without having to take like this huge, financial bent. And same goes for new business initiatives. Maybe your new start is around, okay, I'm starting being a content creator with Venus square Jupiter, being like, well, obviously I need 20 ring lights and all of the things. Again, you can start small and just like build momentum as you continue showing up. But I say this to you, but you very well might have Venus square Jupiter in your area, and with the Libra moon, you're in the mood to socialize. You're in the mood to go out. Earlier part of the week, the waning crescent moon could have made you a little bit more introverted, wanted to stay in. Like with the energy of the Libra moon, we're wanting to be seen, we're wanting to connect. And honestly, with Venus square Jupiter, we're in the mood to spend. There also could just be a very hedonistic tone over the weekend around why one appetizer when we can have, 20? Why stop at one bar when we can go to the next? Like you're definitely in the mood to enjoy life. And hate to be the bearer of bad news, but here in the northern hemisphere, it's the last weekend of summer. And I know the fall peeps are like super excited for fall, but let the summer people grieve, okay? I love summertime. I'm sad that it's almost over. What's your favorite season? Can you comment below what's your favorite season and what's your big three? I'm so curious if there's like a correlation, because I don't have any fire with my birth chart. Maybe that's why I like summer, so I can get some warmth. Anyways, all I'm saying, with Venus square Jupiter, we're in the mood to enjoy. We're in the mood to enjoy. And we just want to get out of the weekend without our, credit card taking too much damage, as well as for those of you who are going on dates, you could just really be in the mood to love on that person. You could just really be in the mood to be super affectionate, super PDA with your person, right? You're really in the mood to be seen, to go out and to connect. So great date night, but I would just say with Venus square Jupiter, maybe just stop with 2 appetizers. You could want to keep ordering, keeping the night going. If it's like a new date with Venus square Jupiter, you could absolutely be in that energetic of just wanting to be like, okay, I love you. I know it's a first date, but I love you. I have to tell you. Definitely a romantic vibe on Saturday, especially when we consider the moon aspect. So the day starts off with the moon conjoining Mars in Libra. So you might be in the mood to do stuff. Like when the moon meets up with Mars, we're in the mood to do stuff. Now, we can be a little bit more passive aggressive, right? Like slamming all the cupboards closed because our partner left them open, or like loudly cleaning rather than just saying, hello, can you help? Like that's one thing to be mindful of with Mars and Libra, is like passive aggressiveness can be at a high, so something to be conscious of. But an up level its energy with Moon Mars is to move. This would be a great time to take an exercise class with a friend, go on a hike with a friend, handle a project. It is last weekend of Virgo season, so maybe you're wanting to clean up. Maybe the Virgo New Moon is planting new seeds around decluttering and deep cleaning. Maybe that's something that you want to make more regular as part of your routine or something of that nature. With Moon on Mars, we're in the mood to do things, but we can be a little bit more angry, bitter, resentful, or frustrated as well. Then the Libra moon sextiles Venus and Leo. So you see what I mean when I say it's a great date night? So long as we cool it with the order and ordering and we're not too PDA, it's a very romantic date night. But I do want you to be conscious, because the Libra moon opposes Chiron that evening. So with Venus square Jupiter, being conscious of where it is that you are wanting to spend instead of feel, or wanting someone to like you more than you're concerned about you liking them. Like again, with Libra moon opposite Chiron in Aries, and the Libra moon answering to Venus square Jupiter, it just feels like this outpouring of energy to feel enough, to like fill a void. Whether it's like going on dates to try to fill a void, spending money to try to fill a void, there's something that we're trying to use to fill a void, and like the void doesn't totally feel like it's going away, which again could in turn make you be like, okay, well after this drink it won't, or after this purchase it won't. So my best advice, there might be like kind of a sore spot within you on Saturday. And like I said, Venus nor Jupiter are necessarily concerned with alcohol, but I just think with Venus's enjoyment factor, you might want to be cautious with drinking or anything of that nature, because with the opposition to Chiron, it could be that sad girl energy that we talked about a couple weeks ago of crying outside the bar, because of the Libra moon's opposition to Chiron in Aries, around looking for connection or looking for pleasure in order to fill a void that exists within us. So just the energy I want you to be conscious of, again, approaching these expansions of pleasure as a celebration of life, not as a running from what is hurt within you. And on Sunday, the 17th, 15th. So the Libra moon will square Pluto at 6:06 before it goes void. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't want you to go overboard the next day and then have like anxiety or regret the next morning. Because that's what like Libra moon squaring Pluto is, like overthinking. Was that weird? Was that too intense? Oh my gosh, did I overdo it? It just feels kind of intense, and particularly reading into social interactions quite a bit with Libra moon squaring Jupiter, like psychoanalyzing them. Again, use the safety deposit box method because it's not doing you any good to overthink it. But with the energy of Libra moon squaring Pluto, just striving for balance in your emotional state, because with the square to Pluto could be kind of tinged to anxiety or just fear of the future or anything of that nature. Bring your focus back to right now. The sun is still transiting your earth sign, so bring your focus back to this present moment. What is it that you can taste, touch, see, and smell? It's helpful to get out of your head by just paying attention to your senses. Go for a walk, move your body, do something to shift the energy. If you're observing, you're kind of going into like a fear spiral or anxiety spiral, or making a mountain out of a molehill or anything of that nature. And then the moon will be void from 6:06 p.m. until the moon enters Scorpio at 9:58 p.m. So do be mindful not to do anything terribly important during that time. And my loves, that is our week. So the Magic Monday mantra of the week is, I am dedicated towards being my best self. That is the aim of Virgo season. It's not about holding ourselves to the standard of perfection, because if we hold ourselves to that standard of perfection, we will always come short. And in fact, it's hindering you more than it is helping you. It is not helping you arise to the highest of your abilities. It's putting you in a guilt spiral, because you're like, well, a perfect person wouldn't have missed their workout yesterday, or a perfect person wouldn't have forgotten to film their TikTok for their new side hustle. So that just means I should give up now. Like, again, having that growth-oriented mindset around, okay, today I didn't do it, whatever, today's a new day, and continuing with that momentum. The new habits that we're planting with this grand earth trine, it's about consistency, and consistency grants us the space to sometimes mess up. It's not ideal. We missed a workout, stopped at fast food before going home, whatever, we keep on keeping on. It's not about being perfect. It's about being the best version of yourself. And it's about understanding that you deserve this. You deserve to show up for your own potential, because Virgo energy can make us so critical. We're looking at ourselves through all of the ways that we could be better, just analyzing all of these small pieces around ways that we can be better. And that can put us into this spiral around, oh, I'm not good enough, I'll never be good enough, or just taking the data around, hey, actually how it is that I've been moving my body doesn't align with the higher version of myself, like the version of myself that I know I could be if I showed up for myself. Like, there's a mismatch here. Like, that's what I think we get the ick on ourselves around. It's like, this is not me. This is not how I want to be showing up for myself or showing up for my life. I deserve better, and I'm going to start treating myself better. And that means not just showing up for our push-ups and for our kale and for our work to start this business. It's not just showing up for that. It's also showing up for your own mind, right? Your own psychology, being loving, not getting to that workout class and thinking about it through this lens of punishment around, well, this is because you ate all those potato chips and so you have to burn all those calories. Approaching it from this level around loving ourselves and loving our potential so much that we want to show up for ourselves, that it feels good to show up for ourselves, because good habits are a form of self-love. It might not feel like self-love, because even if we find an exercise routine that we adore, sometimes it is hard to roll out the mat and put on our ankle weights and get to the Pilates class. Like, even if we love this dream that we're building, it's not always easy to show up in front of a camera and start filming content for a new candle business or whatever it is. It doesn't always feel easy in the moment. Self-care is not just caring for your immediate needs, your immediate desires. It's caring for your potential. It's caring for your future. It means doing the hard things sometimes. Getting out of bed when you would rather just stay in. Cooking that meal when you would rather just drive through. I guarantee you'll feel so much better after, and the more you show up for yourself, I guarantee the easier it'll get. Willpower is a muscle, my love, and this is a new moon about planting the seeds around habits, routines, and daily actions that genuinely stick and genuinely manifest your biggest heartfelt desires. So my love, that is our week. If you made it to the end, go ahead and put your little workout arm in there to let me know that you did make it to the end, or just use the word muscle within a sentence. You guys have been getting so creative with that. I absolutely adore it. My Instagram handle is @HaleyCometAstrology. My TikTok is the same. I would so love to connect with you over there. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay